Hello, my name is Leslie Berger, and I'd like to welcome you to this episode of Renew. Renew is a show about the College of Forest Resources at Mississippi State University. The College of Forest Resources works to enable and promote the conservation and wise use of our natural resources. This show will feature some of the students and the faculty that are engaged in those actions. And today's show in particular features two undergraduates who are involved in some really interesting work in the College of Forest Resources. Joining me now is undergraduate in the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Aquaculture, Kylie LaBelle. Hi, Kylie. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Dr. Berger. I'm glad to be here.
So we know each other because I've been able to watch you in some of your classes and activities, but you have launched on something brand new that few undergraduates have actually tried to undertake. And you and a colleague in the Department of Forestry have started a new student organization that you call Fire Dawgs.
Yes.
So tell me about this organization.
So Fire Dawgs is a student club which is supposed to teach about fire ecology and like prescribed burning and different types of fire-related work and how it relates to natural resources. So,
Okay.
Our club tries to get students experience with fire because you can use fire in many different ways with land management and conservation. You can use it, it's really an interdisciplinary thing because you can use fire in wildlife, you can use it within forestry, you can use it within many different types of natural resources.
Okay, so many people, when they think about fire on the landscape, that's not a positive thing. I mean, they think about the catastrophic fires that you see in the western mountains in California and Yellowstone and all these places. And so what you are not advocating for those kinds of fires, and your students aren't going to be, smoke jumping out of planes into fires and fighting firefighters, right? So there's something different. So you mentioned that there is fire that has all these benefits.
Yes.
So explain just a little bit more about that.
So without education, fire can sometimes have a negative connotation to it, but there are a lot of benefits to using fire for the ecosystems, especially in the Southeast. We use fire because there's natural fire within the Southeast and within the rest of the United States, which people have kind of taken out through like urban development, and so we're not, where there used to be natural fire, there isn't anymore, and so what we in wildlife or natural resources would use fire for is to replace where that natural fire might have been. And it can be just to reset like the natural way that plants grow. Like
Sure.
Some plants grow better whenever there's been a little bit of, say, a disturbance like fire, compared to other plants which might grow better after a longer period of just things being more settled down.
Sure. So this was something that naturally occurred in our ecosystems here in the Southeast and actually in places out west as well.
Yes.
And that would result from lightning strikes that would set off a fire. Native Americans had learned sort of the magic of fire, and they would set fires to improve the grasses for the wildlife that was on there, to improve their visibility for
Sometimes
hunting.
peatlands.
Right. And so those kind of places would all burn, but the plants and animals that are in those systems rely on that when we take fire out of that system, because we have the development that you talked about, or doesn't match what we need, then those animals and plants begin to disappear from the landscape. So you guys are bringing this as a management tool, as a conservation tool, and trying to expose other people to this as a thing.
Yes.
So what do you see some of the activities you might have the club members doing?
So we have bi-weekly meetings every other Monday, and we just had one yesterday. But we have meetings to teach people about some of the different aspects of fire. And then we also will have like trainings
Sure.
related to fire. So we're having a prescribed burn, which is fire related to like land management.
Right.
We have different opportunities with prescribed burning, and we try to give students hands-on experience.
Yeah, that'll be really important.
Yes, because fire it's so important to be able to understand. It's a hands-on.
Sure it is. Right. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more about your Fire Dawgs group when we return after the break in just a moment.
Yes.
Want a career as big as the outdoors? Want to have an impact on the environment? The College of Forest Resources at Mississippi State University delivers hands-on training, ensuring clean air and water, wildlife habitats, and a sustainable environment. Creating new wood products and retooling old ones for today and tomorrow. Find a career in whatever path you choose. Majors in forestry, natural resource and environmental conservation, sustainable bioproducts, wildlife, fisheries, and aquaculture. Want a career as big as the outdoors? Choose the College of Forest Resources at Mississippi State University.
Discovery. It tells our history and determines our future. At Mississippi State University, we're digging deep, unlocking an understanding of our past, validating it. Middle East exploration by faculty and students is uncovering evidence that unravels ancient mysteries. Scholars have long thought of the biblical kings David and Solomon as mythological figures. Our research offers evidence that supports their existence, boosting MSU into an international league of experts on archaeology. Now we're changing the way people think about the past, opening up new possibilities of understanding for future generations. Digging deeper, learning more.
Welcome back to Renew. We've been learning about the new student organization, Fire Dawgs, from some of the undergraduates in the College of Forest Resources. We just heard from undergraduate Kylie LaBelle, and joining me now is forestry student Jack Fair. So Jack, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Very nice to be with you today.
Well, I'm glad you were able to join us. So Kylie was telling us a little bit about how the club came to be and some of the things that you're hoping to achieve. Will this be open to students who are only in the College of Forest Resources, or could other people get involved?
So as of right now, we currently have it with more in the CFR, and that's just because we are getting started as a club and we want to make sure we have it down, everything running smoothly.
Sure.
Next semester, so spring of 2023, anybody that's interested in fire ecology, prescribed burning, can come into the club. It'll be open to the university.
Okay. So do they have to have training in advance, or is this something they're just interested, come and you'll be educated and you'll be trained just like anybody else?
I'm glad you brought that up. No, ma'am, you don't have to have any training. We've had people that are brand new to even the college as freshmen, all the way up to seniors who have a lot of experience with prescribed burning, being on different fire details, knowing about fire ecology. We provide a lot of speakers every other week. We also provide individual training opportunities out at West Point to be able to burn. Every
So they
other
can
weekend.
actually
Yes,
get on the
ma'am.
ground and help with the fire. So what does that look like? I mean, you don't just run around with a gas can and a lighter that you bought at the hardware store. Tell me about what that process looks like.
So typically there's a few different ways prescribed burns go. One, you always have a management objective when it comes to it. For most of our burns we've gotten to do through Prairie Wildlife and through, thanks to Dr. McConnell, we've been able to burn out at Prairie Wildlife, and that looks more, it's a smaller 10-man crew usually. You'll have people with flappers and rakes, and you also have people with 1 or 2 burn torches typically. You usually want to set a head fire or a backing fire, depending on what the conditions are. So you look at the weather the day before.
Sure.
If you're able to burn, you got the right humidity, you got the right temperature and wind, you're able to burn. You have a lot of people sitting there watching it, just make sure it doesn't jump.
Sure.
You put in fire lanes in some cases when you need to. And then you just have fun. You're able to you get out there.
Right.
Usually one person does a line with the drip torch, and then other people are watching the edges to make sure the fire doesn't
Sure.
jump.
So that drip torch is a fuel can with a
Yes,
special
ma'am.
mix
Yes,
that that when you walk and allow that to drip, as the name says, it
Yes,
actually
ma'am.
puts a line of fire down there, and then everybody else is
Yes.
with their rakes and their flappers and water are making sure that fire stays where it needs to stay. And so
Yes,
that is that
ma'am.
idea of being a controlled fire or prescribed fire.
Prescribed
Because
burning.
it has a purpose. It's not a wildfire, which is out of control.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're just trying to bring it under control. So those are really important distinctions to make. How do you see this organization helping you develop professionally?
So for me, being a senior in forestry and also wildlife management, I see myself being able to get connected more into the fire side of natural resources. When I graduate, I want to go into the Forest Service and be possibly a silviculturalist or full-time forester. And with that, there are a lot of opportunities where you will be needed to be able to burn or go out on wildfires and have the knowledge and education and experience to be able to go and do those things. So I think for me and anybody else that's looking to be diversified within their job, I think the club will allow them to be able to do that.
Right.
It helps them be able to get experience they may not be able to.
Right. Well, that makes perfect sense. Well, I appreciate you coming
Yes,
by
ma'am.
and sharing some of the activities of the group, and also for taking the leadership,
Yes, ma'am.
you and Kylie, to bring this new opportunity to the College of Forest Resources. I hope you've all appreciated learning a little bit more about the College of Forest Resources. I hope to see you again soon. I've been your host, Leslie Berger.